Hey guys, I want to share something with you today that I'm not really proud about. You know how there's a lot of hypocrisy in the church right now. You're hearing about it. Um, Probably the biggest thing that keeps people from Christ is hypocrisy. And I got a close up look at it in my own life the other day, and it was kind of bummed me out, but it also put the fear of God in me. And here's what happened. I was filling out a government document, and it asked a couple questions. One was, have you ever been convicted of a criminal offense in the United States or any other country? And I answered that no, which was accurate. And the next question, have you ever been arrested? If yes, please describe. And I left that blank and didn't disclose it. And I submitted the application, and then I was just all night, I was like, oh man, why did I do that? I really value honesty. It's one of my values in Braveheart. And I thought, well, how do I fix this? And so I went back into the government document, and they said you really can't fix it unless you talk to an agent. And so I was like, all right, thinking through, what am I going to do? And later that next day, Nancy had bought this sign that's over right where I have my sacred space and what I refer to as my first cup with the Lord. And I've got this little etched picture that my daughter-in-law had given me that kind of encapsulates my identity statement. It's a mountain river, and it's on etched glass and all this. And right above both of those things is this big metal sign that Nancy had bought from Joanna Gaines there in Texas. And it says, act justly, love mercy, walk humbly with your God. And I'm so glad I wasn't sitting on that part of the couch where my first cup's sitting, and all this is because this sign came crashing down at about noon that day, and Nancy was upstairs, and are you okay? And I'm like running around the house, and I'm thinking, what was that? And I go in the family room, and this sign has shattered actually my identity statement, this glass etched picture, and had just crushed my first cup. And then this verse, Micah 6:8, is sitting on the ground with shards of glass all over the carpet. And God made it so clear in that moment that and I went back and I read Micah 6 in context, and it basically, God's rebuking the Israelites and saying, I don't want your religious stuff. I don't want all your, what do they call those, sacrifices. That's not what I want. Here's what the Lord requires of you. Act justly, love mercy, walk humbly with your God. And ironically, Nancy had set the sign back up, and there was a shard of glass that acted like a pointer. It defied gravity because it was stuck to the sign. The sign is now vertical, and this shard of glass with a blue tip is pointing right at act justly. And in the New Living Translation, it says, the Lord has told you what is good, and this is what he requires of you. Do what is right. And that's what the pointer was at. Do what is right. And so I resolved then and there, I'm going to make this right in my interview on this government thing. And love mercy, like really forgive people, love people well, and walk humbly with God. And the very next verse, Micah 6:9, is fear the Lord if you are wise. And it really struck the fear of the Lord in me, because I could have been hurt by that sign falling. And then this morning, I've told some people how I'll look at the clock when I wake up, and it was, I'm recording this on Sunday, so I'll post it tomorrow, but the time was 1:52 in the morning. And so I go to Psalm 15 verse 2, sometimes Isaiah, whatever the time is, but usually Psalms. And wait till you hear what this verse says, just reiterating the importance of honesty and sincerity. It says, who may worship in your sanctuary? Those who lead blameless lives and do what is right and speak the truth from sincere hearts. So my takeaway this morning is that I say my identity statement every day. I have this first cup with the Lord, but the Lord's saying, all your righteousness is as filthy rags. And it reminded me again that even good things can become idols. So I'm mixing up my time with the Lord a little bit, still say my identity statement, still try to listen, but really reminded that what's really important is to do what's right, love mercy, and walk humbly with God. So, yes, I was arrested. I'll tell you that story another time. And but even more importantly, arrested by God and the fear of God. Love you guys. Take care.